Here we come. Here we come.
Okay.
It's like recording in progress. I'm being recorded now.
No,
Oh,
the day awaits us.
yeah, well, tomorrow. Fuck, how exciting.
It's been a long prep for it. Well, it's been a long journey for it.
Well, this is true, yeah. Well, when did we start prep? Would have been like August last year, wasn't it?
It would have been.
Because
Because we missed out on the GPC.
yeah, because we originally started the prep for GPC and then pulled out. Well, not last minute, but pulled out a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of kept the ball running, and we were like, oh well, there's one coming up in February.
Yeah, went from being then it was to being a non-assisted one.
Yeah, that's
And
yeah.
so that's how it worked in.
Yeah. All worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So weigh-ins, got your weigh-ins done today?
Yeah, went to weigh-in first thing this morning. So weigh-in opened at 9. I was up at 7:30. I know we didn't really have a goal weight set, but I was kind of like in the back of my mind, I was like, look, I remember the last comp I did that was along the same lines as this, and I weighed in at 105.
Yeah.
So like, if we could keep it close to that, I'd be pretty. I wanted to be like within the ballpark of the same weight, because then we could see how much I'd grown from then compared to now.
Yeah.
So I think the first comp I weighed in at, I think it was 104.95, and I weighed in today at 104.45.
Yeah.
So half a kilo lighter.
And then, well, that was it. We didn't really target him for a weight division this time.
Yeah.
And this time it was kind of like, and then obviously being thrown the ball of FIFO.
That definitely threw some spanners in the works for sure.
I just can't eat when I need to eat or exactly what I want to eat, but it was still not throwing all the calories at there, because then obviously you had to do your day and then lift and then pretty well bed. And then being your last week, rock back up there and you're like, guess what? Night shift.
Oh, that really rocked my
that changed
rocked my schedule.
That changed a lot of the percentiles we were going for in that too, because obviously then managing fatigue had to change quite drastically too.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was So I think it was like third night in on night shift. One of the boys at work was like, "Oh, do you go to the gym after this?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Damn, you're keen." And like that shift, man, I remember that shift, and I was just like, "Shit, this is like a whole new ball game."
Yeah.
So, no.
I know, like I personally do it before night shift, but then you're also fucked for work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and too, especially with like what you do there, you like really can't afford. No, I pretty well run night shift as my deload week, for the simple fact of like, I know I'm going to be knackered if I go balls to the wall until failure and that. But then like doing it after, and so funny that because Declan was doing the same. He'd do it after work as well on night shift, so he'd keep the same routine.
Yeah,
was what you would on day shift. But just for me, like I was going through the point where I wouldn't get like a decent workout in when I finished night shift. But then I'd be like really awake after that.
Yeah. See, like the biggest thing I found with night shift, like especially going from like days for like one swing and then nights this last swing, it would be like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd like hit this wall, and I was just like, bro, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it to the gym after this. Hey, like I'm so knackered. And then like come 4:30, 5 o'clock when we're getting on the bus.
Were you having another meal after that?
Yeah. I would have the like what do we have it as? I think it was just it was my pre-workout, but then like I think I don't think I actually told you, like I started adding in one of the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Remember how we had that as like a fallback meal?
Fallback to kind of recoup from where we lost out.
Yeah, so like I just like on the days that I was really like struggling for energy, especially knowing that I had to go to the gym. I think it was the day that we did the day we had me go in and do the unrack, the 110% unrack.
Yeah.
I knew I'd like getting ready to go to work, like prepping my crib and getting everything ready. I was like, I'm gonna throw these two
Yeah,
sandwiches in there just in case, because I know I'm gonna be tired and they might just get me over the line.
that's the thing. It's like, but that's a very good point of like listening to your body there too. Like, it's the same. Like, whether it be anyone's coach can go in there and say, "Look, I want you to do this and this," but like, especially when you're FIFO or you're working that sort of hours, only you know truly how fatigued
Yeah,
you are, and it's not just like, oh man, I've got lower back palms, so my hammies are tight. Like, it's up here and the brain fog and all that that's going on. So like,
yeah,
and that's it, getting those calories in, and like, it has been absolutely zero detriment. One, your powerlifting, but like, as we've been tracking, even though like the scales at work and compared to at home haven't been um aren't coinciding, but those 2 to 3 weeks you're away at work, those scales are staying where they are. And like
yeah, yeah,
the times when you've been at home, those scales are also staying where they are. So like getting in that extra, whatever we worked it out to was like 400 or 500 calories
yeah,
along
yeah,
that lines. It really made no detriment, and that just shows how much
yeah,
extra you were burning from
yeah,
fatigued and stressed.
yeah, yeah. No, like yeah, I definitely not like. It's really funny because I had it I met one boy at site and who's I'm pretty sure he's under you now being coached, and like we were talking about like the difference between day shift and night shift,
Oh yeah,
and like it was really funny because like we weren't so much like comparing who was eating, like how much each of us were eating, but like he came on to nights with me, and he was saying the same thing. It's like going from day shift and knowing that you can eat a certain meal when you can eat it, to then going on to
yeah.
nights and like your body is just not ready to eat
Nah,
like while you're meant to be asleep. Like it
You're
was,
yeah, man,
yeah,
and that's been my biggest thing too. Like, especially doing FIFO, if I did 2 weeks a days, awesome. If I did 2 weeks a nights, it's not the night shift part. And for
yeah,
those that don't do, like, because that was one of before I got into mining when I was bouncing on that down the Gold Coast. It was a matter of, yeah, look, man, I might work night shift or I might do an 18-hour day, but then the
yeah,
next day I'm off.
yeah,
It's like it's the fact of once a week you're pretty well flying to America and got that jet lag, and then you're flying back again. You got that
yeah,
jet lag. Like, man, my first day of night shift, or like after the shift change, my belly's a wreck. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, you, man, your toilet schedule's off. You're fluid, like you're forcing yourself to drink.
yeah,
It's not just like, oh, I'm trying to stay awake. Like, you're trying to convert everything in your body to flip over.
yeah. Yeah. I think I noticed that the most, like especially with my water intake,
Yeah,
like day shift. Day shift, I was like happily smashing like 8 liters of water a day, like consistently. Night shift, I was like, I'd get to like 2.5 liters, and I'd have to force
force
drink.
it down. Mm.
Yeah, like I'd sit there with my meal and I'd get like a liter bottle, and I'd be like, all right, cool. Once I finish this meal, I have to drink that
Okay.
liter, or at least like 75% of it,
Yeah.
just to like keep my fluids going. But then like I'd go back to my room after nights, and like I'd go to bed at say like 6 a.m., sleep all the way until like lunchtime, and I wake up and I'd just be like, oh, I'm so thirsty, and start smashing water.
Yeah, that's it. Because that's
And
usually
it's
the
like,
time where you're smashing the most. Like, drink.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's,
which was like,
you
yeah.
didn't get real long off this last break though either, did you?
Nah, what was it? I came, so
Because
I
it
went up
was supposed to be off leading
for
up
this
into the
comp.
comp. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was meant to do my first 3 week swing, come back, and then my entire R&R was meant to fall over this comp.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just kind of like a mix up at work and a few bits of messing around, and
Yeah.
they flew me up late, or they flew me up early,
Really.
and then they wanted to send me home early, and then yeah, it kind of just like messed it all up, and then
Yeah.
they sent me back up, and I was like, oh guys, like I told you I needed to be off for this comp, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, no worries, we'll get you off. So they flew me up for 9 days, and now they've flown me home. So I flew home Friday, Thursday morning actually, yeah, Thursday morning, and now I'm home for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I fly back up Monday.
Hey, don't worry. That's exactly what we did. We got home there. So did day shift, got finished day shift, flew home that afternoon. Then we
Yeah,
drove down here to Bunbury. And then Emma had her consult in there with her surgeon. So then we had to drive up to Perth. Then we
yeah,
drove down. Then today we're packing. Then we're up there with you tomorrow. and then
Yeah.
we're out first thing Monday morning to then do, and I'm supervising through night shift. So then we've got another week at night shift.
Oh god. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what killed me as well, because I finished night shift at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
jumped in the ute with all my clothes and everything, and left site at 3:30. Drove 2 hours to Karratha,
Oh shit.
and had to jump on a plane at
Yeah.
6:45. And like I don't sleep on planes. Like I just can't. Like it's just
Yeah.
something I just can't do it. So then I was awake from like 6:45, the 2 hour flight home. So I arrived in Perth at 8:45, and like I just got back to my house, and I just could not sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was hard. Like I think I finally went down at like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
and
So
like I just slept.
So we were kind of like, I remember that when we was trying to plan like your meals out for that day, because you're like, it's hard for those that don't know night shift, and the fact like if you go to sleep during the day, you're not rewriting where your body's at.
Yeah, yeah,
You've got to, if anything, you nap, but other than that, it's like, so essentially you're trying to get like 2 days worth of nutrition in, or let's say 20,
yeah,
26, 28 hours, or like awake hours of nutrition
yeah,
into like that sort of period there, especially like coming like this close to the comp. You can't just be like, I'm not going to go eat. I'm just going to sleep. And then I won't sleep tonight.
yeah,
And hence, like we wanted to be, we're like, we already knew how your body functioned on that particular subway.
yeah,
Like that was our prep run when you came down and we for that weekend, and we got some numbers and that, and then of
yeah,
course then getting in that the sirloin steak or the scotchy,
yeah,
like not a huge meal, but that's 60 grams of fat in the scotch.
yeah,
So hence
yeah,
like there, like that's a lot. We're talking like 540 calories just in the fat content of that steak, and it's also going to be banging close to 50. So
yeah. And then
that's
just
the thing too. It's like I'm not working out today. I've just flown home. I'm just going to go out to dinner. I don't have to prep.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like just one less stress.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And then like just adding in that like mashed potato, like instead of being rice,
Yeah,
just adding that in, like just sort of like a little like peace of mind difference. So like it's not
exactly.
the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like we probably we probably would have changed this entire last week's worth of nutrition and then deloaded. Be like,
yeah,
we're at site. We're now trying to time with the flights and
yeah,
like where you're at. So they kind of threw like our percentiles off that we're aiming for.
yeah,
But
yeah,
we kind of knew where we wanted to be,
yeah,
what targets, and that was a good thing too. Like that time we spent together down here, and so we knew where the numbers were and where we could actually hit and where we could
yeah.
hit safely. So like your opening numbers, not sure if you want to share them.
Yeah, so I went off the opening numbers you gave me, which was a 240 squat, a 125 bench, and a 205 deadlift.
Yeah.
And like I was thinking about it while I was there, and like I was going over it in my head. Like I'm pretty confident I'll hit 240, pretty comfortable with the 125 bench, and the 205 deadlift. I was a bit like, I wasn't too sure about it, so I dropped it by 5 kilos to just a flat 200 opener.
That's
Because
easy. I
like
mean,
the
because
way my thought process was behind it is like it's 5 kilos. Like it's more of a peace of mind thing knowing that I'm going to hit that lift, because
yeah,
like I'm not sure who actually competes in powerlifting, but like for your total to actually count, you have to hit one of each three lift, a minimum of one of each
and,
three. So like just being a peace of mind. Like I remember,
well, like
what was it? Not last year's GPC, the year before, when I did
yeah,
the injury in my shoulder, I bombed out in the comp because I couldn't get a
we
bench
couldn't lock
press.
a, we couldn't get a bench.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously my fucking right hand rotator cuff just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another story for a different
That's
day.
half hour just on that day by itself.
Yeah, that day was an absolute shamble.
But like
But
the numbers we've put in for your opening, if we lock that in, like if you just got your opening numbers, I think from memory you're like 150 above what you were the last time you were this way
yeah, yeah. So
in
I
total.
think the last time I weighed in at 105, which was my very first
Yeah.
competition at this weight and in this class, because this competition is
Yeah, not
raw
a
with sleeves. Yeah,
yeah,
it's novice with raw and sleeves, whereas I usually compete GPC, which is raw and wraps.
Yeah, so you're not a geared lifter.
Yeah, well, it's really funny because I have this argument with a lot of people, but there's a new federation that's come to WA,
Really?
which is what is it, Pro Raw,
Okay.
which is actually really funny because I was looking into them a bit, and the only way to qualify for Pro Raw is either qualifying in GPC, APL, Kappa, and APU.
Yeah.
So you got to qualify a total in one of those four federations, and then you can get an invite. Pro Raw is invite only.
Really?
Yes. So this might be a conversation for another day
Could be
down
a
the
good little.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually looking at the guy who I was talking to the guy who runs Pro Raw, and like just like wondering how to get into it because it would be an experience like an invite
Oh,
only
hell yeah.
powerlifting comp is probably like is probably where I want to aim for the next year, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, just to get an invite. Like it'd be an honor to get an invite to something like that,
Oh, yeah.
really, because I think I know one of the boys who got an invite who competes in the 82 and a half class. So I think that's two classes below me.
Yep.
And like he deadlifts like 300 kilos.
Yeah, big boy.
And it's like, you need numbers like that to get an invite to this comp.
Shit, yeah.
So yeah, which is, yeah, I only actually heard about it about a month ago because they went down for COVID. So like obviously COVID came out, made it harder for him to like, try and get competitors. And that's another thing, like especially with tomorrow's comp, COVID has now changed it to a closed door event.
Yeah.
So the environment by itself is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the crowd amping you up.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing there. Like, and for those that don't get to experience it, like whether they haven't competed like in any sporting thing, but especially when you go out, I notice for like, man, it's the same. Like growing up doing rodeos, even bodybuilding. You're depleted. You go out until you've got to experience that powerlifting. You're going for that one lift at that particular time, and that hit of adrenaline is it's
massive.
You want to talk about like, okay, I've locked in my lift, and this is where you see people, and this is where you see records broken.
Yeah,
like it's good to say probably about a good 70% of those records weren't meant to be broken. It's like I've hit my lift, I've gone and smacked my second. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's just let's just give it everything. Yeah,
but I mean, it's hard. Like, and for those that don't know too, this is the big thing too. That I think a lot of lifters need to learn, especially gym bros. These numbers, like 240 squat, 125 bench, and 200 dead. These numbers are your starting total. These are not on a leg day, a bench day, or a squat day. I've been with Alex. I've watched him do 240. I've been spotting, and when you spot Alex, it means you stand there posing to look good for the camera because he don't need no one touching the fucking bar.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the same, like, and we both know, like, we've seen you rip the 230s for the dead, like, and we've seen like a bench. We've seen, what do we do last?
It was 142 and a half for three. Was my last 3x3
for the bench
at site. So
and
like all these numbers are very modest because they're openers.
But that's it. Once we get that lock in, and you're different to me. My squat was like when I put on, like, I gained 15 kgs of weight, and my squat like changed 2 kg.
Yeah.
It just made it harder for me to squat, but everything else went up. But so like I would always know, like for my dead, that would be like how far I'd push it would be to recover. Like because my squat, I knew like 286 for my squat was pretty well. Meh, I could get 286. Anything past that was more like just awkward for me to hit. More than like it was more my hips really gave me more issue than anything. My bench, like I could always bank on a 210 bench. And then like the 220, I've only ever hit the 220 or 224. 224 once, 220 the ones previous to that. But then it was like the deadlift, like I could hit 300s. Like but that was my thing, was like how I'd rip it. And that was how I got like 308. Like for my size, wasn't really, I mean, when we start talking about like Wilks, it's not that impressive realistically. But like being a junior that's then forced to go to the Opens was but you're the other way around. Your strongest
Yeah,
lift is your first lift. So
yeah,
like, and this is like we were talking about like, one time will be like the road to 300 because like
yeah,
we're like as a geared lifter, like you're on the prospect to get to that 300 mark. Like we know we can bank it. Like
yeah. Well, it
it's
was funny because I was talking to my mate about it like the other day, and he was like, "Oh, surely you should be getting close to that 300." And I was actually thinking about it, and I was like, when I went for my 280 in wraps,
uh,
I was only pushing like I think it
yeah.
was like 235 in sleeves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were doing like at our 90%. So I think we were doing like 220 something.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think, yeah, I think it was like our openers might have been like, don't quote me on the opener. Yeah, I think we were like 238. Like,
yes. It was in the 230s,
yeah,
and now it's like
which is sweet.
we're
Even
going. Yeah, we're going tomorrow, and it's like, oh, 270 in sleeves is looking pretty fucking doable.
I bet you your suit would fit you around your stomach. It'll be way too tight around your legs and your chest though.
It actually is. I had it on. I had it on its side, and like
Yeah.
it's like comfortable around my stomach, but like I put it like I have to like rip it up past my quads to
Oh
get
man,
it into like into position.
yeah. It's funny,
So
like just how quad dominant and like now you're like really showing like how quad dominant you are. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, fucking horse legs. Yeah.
That's it, bro. That's it.
But
Yeah,
then so that'll be good. That'll be our opener. Be like I said, just different atmosphere there. And I guess that's like for some lifters, I guess that'll be a bit of a relief not having to, I don't know, perform in front of so many other
yeah.
people
It's,
and that. But like, I know you're much the same too. Like you're very in your own head space, but when that crowd goes,
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
But
See, I think like especially being like an entry level competition for like so there's gonna be a lot of new lifters there tomorrow. I think it's more encouraging as well. So like you're not how do I put it? You're not putting yourself out there so much that you receive criticism. Not that actually you actually get a lot of criticism at
yeah,
these events, which is really good. Like everyone's always really, really supportive. But like a lot of mentality comes into it as well though. Like I know like my first comp I was very nervous about like, oh, like what if I fail a lift? Like they're all gonna be like, oh, he could have hit that, blah 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 blah. Like it gets in your head like that.
yeah,
And being a closed event for a lot of these new lifters coming
it's gonna
through,
be good.
it'll be
It'll
good
be a
for them
good,
because yeah, like it's gonna be like it's not gonna be no crowd at all. Like it's gonna be a lot of
yeah.
coaches.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, I don't know the total numbers of competitors. Do they
I
know?
think it's I think it's around 150.
Well,
I
there you go,
think.
150, and you're going to guarantee like for those that do have coaches there, like so for those that don't know, like you're allowed your coach or your handler. So if your coach is not there, you're guaranteed pretty well a handler,
Yeah,
or your partner's going to be there by your side. So you're still guaranteed double.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I ran into I can't remember his name now, but he's one of the boys competing in my weight category.
Oh yeah,
And he was talking to me about like he's been training for about 6 or 7 months for this com, and he hasn't been doing powerlifting long. And like just speaking to him about it, and like today at weigh-in, and like asking him how he's feeling, like and all of that, and he's like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous, and just like trying to get him to understand, like, look, man, it's just a comp. You're only here to compete against yourself.
yeah.
Like at the end of the day, cool. If you go there and you win, good job, perfect, man. You did really well. But a lot of people don't understand that a lot of the ego needs to be left at the door,
Oh
and you
hell,
should only be there to like do better than your best.
yeah.
Like
And that is
like
the big thing,
even in your personal gyms, like a lot of ego lifting is where shit
oh,
goes wrong.
man. Between you and me, how many times have we seen it ourselves? We're there, um, whether we're just doing a squat, bench, dead, just it's a heavy,
Yeah,
even rack pulls, just rows, man. Like it's just
yeah,
there, and we're only doing like a 5x5 or a 90% of threes or something like, and you're there, and everyone gives you the looks like, man, I'm not here to like. This is not me ego lifting. Like this is actually in my program.
yeah,
Always get like the shit talking. I remember I put a post up once of you. I think we did like it was a big squat. It was a big squat, and I put it up there on the reels.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, bro, try going ass to grass. You got such a wide stance." And like, I typed in. I said, "Thanks for the criticism. Just be note of the caption. This is for the powerlifting."
Yeah.
And I left it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not even. I just deleted it, and then I deleted his. I was like, I can't even be bothered. But it's
Yeah.
the same thing. Like, man, it just each to their own. Look, and this is the thing though too. If you're even going to go there to ego lift, like ego lift with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Exactly.
your competitor is the dude in the mirror, or is the
Hundred
numbers you
percent.
have on the paper the last time? It's not the dude lifted next year. Oh man, and this is the biggest thing I've learned too, going to like bodybuilding. And especially get that point now where like my body fat's like sitting around that 12%. So I'm putting on a bit more size, but I'm
Yeah.
still relatively lean. And the strength's coming back. But instead of me repping like, let's just say instead of me repping the 60 kg dumbbells, for a couple now, I'm just doing 40, but I'm doing real slow negatives and really big contractions.
Yeah.
Oh, get beside me, 15 kgs lighter, comes down,
Yeah.
up, 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 bang,
Yeah.
drop. Someone just, oh fuck, bro. I really don't care, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's not play the what if game or I was game because you're gonna lose at that. But like, you run your race, bro. Like,
Yeah. 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 Well,
man,
that's one of the gyms I used to train at. It's actually really ironic because there used to be a boy that used to he was a powerlifter as well, bigger than me, weighed more than me. I think he weighed like 10, 15 kilos more than me. And like he'd always comment on my squats. And I was like, yeah, cool, bro, like whatever, bro. And like I started catching him in his
I
squats because he
remember.
squatted heavy.
I
He squatted,
remember this dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I started catching him, and like every time he would just criticize something a little small, and I was like, how much? Like, and then I just like one day I'd finally had enough of it, and I was like, how much do you weigh, bro? And he told me, and I was like, look, man, I'm 10 to 15 kilos lighter than you. My squat is considered legal because it's my ass goes to my knee
yeah,
crease,
that's
which
it.
is a flat line, which is 90 degrees. It's considered legal. I've never once in any of
You
my
have
comps,
3 judges say it's legal.
I've never
Not
once,
my Jim Bro and IG.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Every single competition I've ever competed in, I've never once failed a squat. Every single time, I've always either had 2 white lights or 3 white lights on my squat.
yeah,
Bench and deadlift, cool. I've failed benches and I've failed deadlifts. So I understand that my form with those needs critiquing.
yeah,
That's fine. I can admit that. But
yeah,
my squat is my strongest lift, and it's the lift I am the most proud of.
yeah,
So I take it very, very personal.
yeah.
And like I caught him at, I think it was a 260 squat. I finally caught him at, and like he was like, "Oh man, like blah blah blah. You should be squatting deeper than that." And it's like, why would I squat deeper than I need to and waste energy?
So for those that don't know or haven't seen, jump on my IG, jump on Alex's IG, and have a look at his squat though. It's not coming down, bouncing out of the hole. You watch. I will tell you the amount of fucking strain that's on those hamstrings. There you go. You're doing squats. Didn't do a quad. Didn't pull
Yeah,
that hair in the quad, did it? It was in the hamstring.
yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
it's
exactly it.
like it's
Yeah,
the going down. Like you're going down with control. I tell you what, net right now, if you go to a powerlifting meet and you try to drop your ass to the grass and get that bounce out, man,
fail straight away.
absolute fail. You'll come down, and it's almost like it's not enough that it's a rest pause, but they want to be able to see that transition.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want to be
They
able
want
to
to.
see
Yeah,
you down, stop, and then drive.
yeah.
And you'll
They
hear
want. They want
coaches
to. They
like
they
down,
want to
down, down,
see.
push or drive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. They want to see that you've hit that point of
yeah,
like this is 90 degrees. Okay, cool. Now start going up, bro.
yeah,
Not slam that weight as fast to the ground as you can and then try and fucking
yeah,
explode out of that hole,
yeah,
because 9 times out of 10 that's where you're going to do a knee,
yeah. Oh, damn right.
because your knees are not built to be shock loaded like that.
Yeah, they're not a shock absorbers, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and those that don't know, I want to say like they're always going about like, yeah, powerlifting's a short man's game. Because I copped this a lot when I was with
Oh yeah.
my bench was like quite sizably good. Like 224 for those don't know was my bench. I've never same thing. I've never failed a bench. And they're like, oh, it's because you're short. I am. I'm 5'7" in a pair of cowboy boots. But this is the same. Where you go, what? Alex is strong in his squats because he's short. No, man. For those that don't know, Alex dwarfs me in height and his legs are fucking long and the squats are his strongest. My arm span is longer than my height
Yeah.
and it's my strongest lift.
Mm.
So for
See,
those,
like,
like it's still relative. Like, yeah, you might have a shorter range of motion, but you've also got a shorter muscle.
yeah, yeah,
So it's the same, man. It's like you're accruing different muscle fibers. You can't compare apples to oranges. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's like that's like me. Like I've got really, really long femurs, which helps my
yeah,
squat, which
yeah,
helps my squat. But I've got really short arms.
yeah,
But by having long femurs, it makes my deadlifts near impossible
yeah.
because my reach is fucking shit.
Like you are. It's funny. You can watch Alex like his stance and his squat and how he goes, but you watch him do the deadlift, and it looks like the most awkward thing to do because, like you said, the femur. So get down, but just don't have that arm length. Like your ass has got to be so low.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
can you imagine? Um, so to all the haters out there, Alex pulls sumo for that reason.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
honestly, your conventional numbers aren't far off where your squats are. But if you were to pull conventional, oh my god, man, you would get a you get a red light before you even got her off the ground because like your
Yeah,
ass is below your knees, almost touching your ankles. Like,
yeah, it's terrible.
yeah,
And yeah, it's the reason that I have like, look, everyone like I've had this conversation with so many people in the gym because they see me pull sumo, and like I remember one time at the gym I had one guy like chewing his mate's ear off, and he's like, oh man, I could lift that heavy if I pulled sumo, blah blah blah, and like I don't know, I think I was just having a bad day or something triggered me, and like I just looked at him, and I just literally I was already at I think it was 200 flat, and I was repping it in sumo. So I was doing like I think it was a 3x3 or a 5x5 at 200. And I heard him say it, and I just looked at him, and I was like, you know what, this kid needs to learn something. And I literally just ripped it like ripped it conventional, and
yeah.
like I slammed it as hard like that loud. And I just looked at him. I was like, look, man, I pull sumo because it's the most comfortable way for me to pull. I can pull conventional. It's ugly. It feels weird, and I can't pull as strong as I can in sumo.
That's it. Why would you put yourself through it? Like you're
Yeah,
here, you're here for powerlifting,
exactly.
not here
And
as
why would I
a
put
model. Like, and this
yeah,
is
why would I put myself at a
yeah,
disadvantage when I can almost guarantee if anyone watches the live stream tomorrow for the actual powerlifting comp, especially the boys in my weight category,
oh yeah.
nine out of 10 of those boys, I could almost guarantee it, pull sumo.
This is the thing. Like I feel I would have been better to pull sumo, but I'd always done conventional.
Yeah,
And by the time I tried to transition into learning sumo, it was just too. It was too much on my hip and my flexors. Like at that point, it
yeah,
was just not. I just didn't have the stance wide enough for what I was. Like my,
yeah, yeah,
but, it was the same. Like for me to do, but this is the same thing. Like okay, yeah, can lift more sumo. I have never done more than 220 for a triple in sumo, and I
yeah,
pulled 308 conventional with ease. As my last lift, I could bank it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, that was my Hail Mary, don't matter. Fucking squat was shit, don't matter. I know I'm going to get a 300 for the deads. Like,
yeah, yeah.
but it's the same. If it's what works with you, man.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like
Like
yeah,
you're going
like
to
it,
get more drive if you squat and you have everything in a direct line. So you've got your feet, your knees,
yeah,
your hips, your shoulders, like that.
yeah,
You're going to have the most drive. Hence why for powerlift, for bodybuilding, you'll do that because it gets the most activation. But you watch tomorrow, how many guys squat like that?
yeah. None.
Maybe the guys under 80.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
It'll be the boys that are and the girls that are in the lighter weight classes
yeah.
that'll still be squatting like that because once they start moving heavier weight, they'll come to realize,
Yeah, man.
and like especially tomorrow being an entry level comp,
Yeah.
like it'll be a lot of the people learning
Yeah.
where their body's at, where what stance suits them best, um what their leverages are, things like that. That's what tomorrow is going to be about for a lot of these people tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be really good. It's going to be an interesting one, and I feel like it's going to set us up for a lot of
a
ways.
strong year, a
Yeah,
strong year.
yeah. So we'll have I know we'll do another podcast later on and touch on like post event and how it went, and then
Yeah,
where your nutrition's gone from then, and because I know we've talked about previous like scaling back for a little bit while just
yeah,
get some health markers back in check because I know you've previously had problems with the cholesterol as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'll be
yeah,
looking at mitigating that and see where we go. And then
yeah,
once we assess and it's all good and levels are bounced back where to they need to be, then we'll start the push and transition.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to set us up for a good year, and yeah, can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go home, get this last meal in, get an I might try and chuck in another half Gatorade just
Yep.
because I was looking a little bit dehydrated
Get the
earlier.
electrolytes in, yeah.
Yeah, get a little bit more into me.
And you've
Get a good
got all your food,
pardon.
got all the food prep for tomorrow?
Everything for tomorrow is prepped. I've got my first meal in the fridge already, ready to go first thing in the morning.
You know
I've
when
got
you're
the
jumping
banana.
on?
Pardon?
You know when they're going to what they're kicking off at 9?
Yeah, so it kicks off at 9 a.m. But me being in the heavier weight
Yeah, you'll be
categories,
the
it'll probably
last coming up.
yeah, and knowing that my squat is going to be the heaviest in my weight category, I'm going to be the very last
Really
one.
the very last.
Yeah, so I reckon my first squat's probably going to fall around 10, 15.
Yeah, I was seeing that. I reckon just gone by. Yeah, it's gonna be something like
Yeah,
that. So it'll be.
yeah, it's gonna
We might
yeah, it's gonna
10, 10,
yeah,
15. That'll be enough, I think, for the meals we've planned. But we've also got those things put aside for.
yeah, yeah. I've got the three peanut butter and honey sandwiches put in the
Aside.
fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got two Maximus drinks put aside because I know our prep that you gave me for tomorrow says one, but I've grabbed two just in case.
Well, that's the thing. You're never going to go astray. I mean, what's the worst
Yeah,
that's going to happen? You're going to smash it down after it.
exactly. So I've got the three sandwiches, the two Maximuses. I've got the extra banana chips. I've got the glucose jelly beans. I've got the banana chips, salt, honey, and rice meal, and then I've got the oats meal porridge for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, first thing. We'll do one there where we'll touch on nutrition, and you'll see. Like, I'd love to be able to see. Or might film a little bit tomorrow there. Just of like you'll see like how powerlifters eat, like a lot of especially the novice guys, how they eat compared to
Yeah,
like how you'll be eating.
yeah,
There's a big difference in that. It's not always calories
yeah,
in versus calories out, but it's like timing. So it'll be
yeah. It's how do I put it? Like I remember the first comp that you prepped me for, and like going into it, it was just like I was like I was there, and I had my old coach as my handler because you couldn't make this one.
yeah.
And just watching some of the things they were eating, like heaps of lollies, heaps of like chips and crap, and like there's me sitting in the corner with my banana chips and rice and honey and salt, just like smashing that away, and I'm watching them all like smashing pizza,
How
lasagna.
easy how easy did you belt up though?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just got to remember, like we just got like 1,000 calories in before your first lift, and you were like, but after that, you're like, fuck, I'm hungry.
Yeah, yeah,
And you don't want to belt up and be like, you don't want to
yeah,
put a brace in that squat and be like, I think I can't get depth.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, 100%.
All right, bro. Well, we'll look at wrapping it up around there, and I will see you in the morning.
I will see you tomorrow morning, mate.
Yeah, you
Nice
know,
and sharp.
that's it. We'll look at banging there about 7:30. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll get us
sounds
up there
perfect, bro.
time.
Yeah, that'll give us about an hour to get there,
Leave.
which is
Yeah.
perfect. So
All right.
easy.
Awesome. All right, bro.
No worries.
We'll get off this, and I'll text you soon.
I'll see you in the morning, mate.
Cheers, brother.
See you,
Bye.
mate. Bye.